Hello and welcome everyone. Alright, well, this is a stream to teach you how to on playing Total War Warhammer. Now, you got lots of different races to pick from. I'm going to go everything in, so if you are somebody who's played a lot of Total War or anything like that, just hold tight. We'll get to the fun parts of it, but I am going to go over all the things I do in rather extensive detail. Things that only take you a moment to think about, but that you just do. Alright. Wait for a few more people to jump in chat here, and we'll get started.
We can achieve much.
Alario, the
Alario.
Everqueen.
Radiant.
We are the legacy of Nagaryth.
Oh, what are some of the DLCs I don't have? You got him for free. I'm not going to restart it for that.
I was born for glory.
Why don't they just download it? I've never understood that. Oh,
Our future depends
dude,
upon
you gotta
me.
pay for. You got the Beastmans. I thought there were some more Orcses too. Oh yeah, you got
I got me brother.
this guy and this guy.
Everything belongs to Grom.
He is one ugly dude. Yeah, river trolls, snotling pump wagons. What are those? Oh, it's a cavalry unit. Monster and monsters. Monsters. But, well, let's see. Well, if the chat's got any suggestions on who they would like to see played, just let me know. I am watching chat, so let me know who you want to play as. If you want me to go through all of them, I can. But whatever floats anybody's boat, you want to play. They all play a little bit differently. What I mean by that is like the elves have their own currencies. The lizards have the spawning chambers. Actually, I've never played as the Dark Eldar or the Dark Elves myself. They never really appealed to me personally. Skaven have food requirements. They do underground stuff. It's a lot of fun. These guys don't have. Well, you can take home bases, but for the most, they don't have to have one. Your biggest choices, yes. Any choice, any of these you want to see. You got the mummy undead, which are they have certain units that they can only get a few of. You got your regular humans. Their main strength lies in their heroes. You have the dwarves.
For the Karazhan Corps.
They are dwarves. They have they don't have magic per se, but they have runes, which are slightly different. They mostly buff and then debuff the other side.
You have my. I am the White Dwarf.
You have orcs. They have the warg ability.
Goblin. I am true.
You got the guy with the green eyes. Then you have the vampires.
I'll take
They can summon the undead, things like that.
The von Karstein.
Isabella von Karstein.
She a creepy eye lady.
They will all pay.
I call this guy Evil Gandalf because that's what he looks like. You have the Chaos guys.
Corners.
This one
Where's
here
my next
is
quarry?
like the human side of the story, and then the monster side. It comes with some monsters, and you actually have to fight or defeat certain monsters, and then you can add them to your army. It's quite different. And more humans. These ones are a little more
I will indulge you.
French-based, I guess would be the best
You
word to put
seek
it.
prophecy.
I will never relent.
They are a
My
cavalry-based
blade is
setup
my
I am
versus
the
the other humans, which
Bretonia,
are
I
technology-based.
fight.
We have
I
the
live to serve Ariel.
wood elves, which are, in my personal opinion, the hardest to play because they have a resource right here. You see it, the amber elite force spirit. Yeah, so a lot of their units require this amber, and then if you have certain places taken away, you lose that amber, and then your armies will start to run away because you don't have the amber, and it's not as easy to get back as it's not a resource you can farm in your current cities. You have to control certain territories for it to get better. And then they have Ents, which is why I've played them so many times. I love Ents. I don't currently have the Beastmen, but they play very similar to Chaos, where they are a roving band. This dude's like a enormous minotaur.
Handsome and lethal.
This guy's kind of a how evil looks. You know, in reality, it's not as ugly and disgusting as, say, this dude, where it comes with a pretty face. And then you have the main guy, the Ever-Chosen. We have Lizardmen. You got the big fat toad. Now they have the spawning pools, things like that. They have the best basic infantry in the entire game. By a long shot, actually. But they have the worst ranged units in the game, by a long shot. With halfway decent artillery, these seem like they'll be really cool, but they suck. Because half the time they kill your own dudes because they drop firebombs from up high, and they just lambast your own dudes. Croxigors. And then you have your high elves, which are obviously archer based. So let me know what you want me to play as, and I will pick it, and we will start from there. "20 seconds of delay." Or if you want to take a closer look at any one of them, also I can do that. Misty, any choices? See dwarves again? Yeah.
Retake the realms. Our enemies shall tremble.
No. Throw that away. Throw the bag away. No more apples.
To war.
So he's going to be your... Yeah, these are the different dwarves here.
Fearless and
Alright,
unbreakable.
is there a particular one? We got Ugrim,
You know who I am.
Grumbeard, which he has access to some pretty cool guys here with the Iron Drakes and the Gyrocopters.
Send me
This
to
is your
vengeance.
base dwarf with Thulgrim. He's going to have he has the ability to any of his recruit rank +3 for hammer units, which are these guys. And then you have this guy who Slayer building. So the Slayer, these guys here, and that's Iron Fist. So I don't have this guy, and although he's got some pretty cool things, but I'm not in the mood. I'm not going to be spending money on this today. So we got yeah, let me know. Thulgrim, Grumble, Grumbrittle, or Ungrim.
For the Karazhan Corps.
Thulgrim, alright. Thulgrim it is. Alright, we will start the campaign. It might be longer than 20 seconds for delay. It might be total. It might be 40 seconds. It might be 20 seconds between for Streamlabs, and then 20 seconds again on YouTube side. Loading, loading, loading.
Karaza Karaki secure, my lord High King. Faced with your terrible wrath, the greenskins rout, as is typical of their craven nature.
Hello, JC.
The bloody
I don't know what
still
the
infest
no is
mountains
pertaining
the east,
to.
setting up their hovels amidst your sacred pillars. Another grudge that must be put right, and soon. For the lords of the other dwarfholds will not tolerate a High King that cannot secure his own realms. To the south, yet more vicious Urki and Groby lay ready to strike at your kin. Seek allies amongst your own folk, for there are many grudges to settle here. The world shall be enthralled to the Karazhan Corps once more, and no creature, greenskin or otherwise, shall stand in your way.
I'm doing just fine, JC. Alright, so grudge issued against the orcs over here to the right who have taken over some of our territory. We'll get 1,000 gold and 15 oath gold. All grievances committed to them. So basically, up here, where was it? Oh, this little tab down here, the Great Book of Grudges. It's basically, you've got to fill this up, and to keep your grudges down. Otherwise, some other factions will get upset with you. All right. So,
Send me to
We start off
vengeance.
with a grudge throwers, poignantly enough, 2 crossbowmen, miners, 1 dwarf warriors, and 1 set of hammerers. Sorry, a little ingestion there. We could take them as it is, straight up like this, but before we get to that, we will just recruit some units so you can see how to do that. So where it says local and global. So to recruit global, you either have to be inside of one of your territories, or you can be there's a tab over here that lets you change your stances. Now there's March stance. The stance you're in is stance none. You have March stance, which lets you go farther, but as you can see, you get recruitments disabled. If you get into battle with that, everybody's tired. You can't retreat, and you cannot initiate a battle that way. Ambush is basically you lie in wait for somebody to walk by, and you can get an ambush on them, which gives you a map where you have access to all around them, and they are in the middle. Raiding. Raiding, you basically take funds from, you do the raiding thing. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory on that one. Your campaign movement speed is reduced by 25%. Income from all buildings in that area, if you're raiding your own region, is minus 50%. And there's diplomacy penalties, and you'll be winded in battle. Now, encampment stance, you can recruit from the global, which means you can get new forces basically anywhere on the map. They take twice as long and cost twice as much to do that. So if you're going to use that during the battle, you better need it. Like you got to be far away from home, because in all honesty, financially, it's better to have a runner, which is you have a guy who's got a bunch of movement bonuses, and he takes guys from your main area and runs them down to to your guy, because it's far more economical. You're immune to attrition, so if you're in an area, there's certain areas, and I'll show you here. See how it's green? It says stable climate. You won't really have attrition there. I'm trying to see if I can find where it turns red on me. The dwarves don't have as many. If I was in a vampire area, is this any of this? No, it's not. Vampire lands will give you attrition. There'll be a little skull that pops up. Basically, it lets you know that the area you're in is causing you attrition, which means you will lose a certain percentage of troops every turn due to the fact to, hard life. Basically, them getting sick, them getting hurt, things of that nature. You can stop that with those stances, with that stance. Along with, and then there's the underway, which is a subterranean way of travel, and you can pass through mountains, things like that. Like, see how I can come over here? So if I were to click on underway, I could go over here even though there's no actual road. It just lets me jump right over to here. Or you can't initiate a battle. However, it can be initiated against you if they have the ability that allows them to intercept underway.
I agree.
But for this turn, we're going to recruit 3 troops. We're going to recruit a great weapon, which I recruit those specifically because they're armored and armored piercing. So they're hard to kill, and they kill things that have armor. Basically, it helps you deal with their bigger creatures, their monster-style creatures. And then we'll get 2 more sets of Dwarven Warriors. Those are your basic infantry, your hold the line kind of guys. So you'll create lines and things like that. All right. So while those do that, I'm going to leave him there, and then we're going to go into the building, and I'm going to show you kind of how this works. Okay, so I can upgrade my outpost, basically. I can upgrade my building, and it gives me here, if you look here, it gives me access to dwarf warriors if I didn't have a building that already allowed them, and dwarf miners. Now, this building does that already. This is a basic recruitment building. So you can go dwarf warriors, miners, and dwarf with great weapons. Now, as you upgrade this, it'll give you access to long axes, quarrelers, which are the bowmen for the... I'm sorry, JC. If you're confused, bud, let me know, and I will go over it again. My goal is to try to teach. So, quarrelers with great weapons, so basically they can do both. They have a big armor-piercing melee as well. The dwarves are really, their archers are pretty good in combat. Thanes are your heroes. So at the top of this, you'll get something. Now, the ones that are highlighted in red are ones that require a secondary building. In this case, the armory. I will have the ability to pick one building, but real quick on this, see how it has a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 5? That's referring to your population surplus. So over time, your growth, you'll get one population. Once I get on this one, it'll be when I get to 375 points, and I'm getting plus 25 a turn. So how many ever turns that is, I don't. It actually usually tells you.
Hello.
Hello.
What have we missed?
Oh, I got that.
You haven't missed too much. JC there, I'm waiting on him to reply to me to find out what he is confused about, because I would really like to explain whatever it is to him. Now, taxes. Taxes will increase your happiness. So right now it's public order -1, but I'm set at 0. You have to end up at -99 for anything to happen.
Increase happiness.
I can increase happiness by doing that. Now it's +3. However, I'm dropping about 300 gold a turn. I'm not going to do that right now, because what I can do is over here. Now this is going to give you a laundry list of different buildings to go through. These are your... So this is... Alright, so defenses. Now, there are other buildings that are going to give you, like, walls and things of that nature. This particular one only gives you, because it's a big, gigantic city, it already has walls and defenses like that, it's going to give you underway lookouts. Now, I was explaining earlier about how the underway can be intercepted. This is one of the ways that does that, and it basically, this one is looking for Skavens. So Skaven can burrow under your city. Oh, on the grudges? Yeah, so in the grudges here, the book, they're basically missions. Grudges are a fancy, like, they just kind of fancy weighted up to make it, they're missions for the dwarves, JC. And as you can see, satisfied, 0 of 9. So, but if I end up over here with 20 plus, I will end up with diplomacy relations -10 with dwarves, public order -2, in upkeep for all dwarven characters, being the heroes, the thanes, your main leaders. They will all have +6 to their upkeep, 6% of their upkeep, which seems like, oh, that's just a little bit. That's a lot when you have 4 or 5 armies, because it scale, like, every time you get a new army, it scales up the amount that army resources are going to cost you. It gets unbelievably expensive when you're paying 4,000 to 5,000 gold per army. When you've got 15 or so, then it starts becoming really, really expensive if you get this many grudges. And then as you do that, and then you want to try to keep it in here. So you have to. It kind of makes you do the missions. Does that make sense?
It is non-negotiable.
Those in Discord, you can watch now.
Okay.
Woo woo.
All right. I also stream in our Discord, so if you guys want to stop in there, there should be little to no delay in the Discord when I stream that.
I mean, he's already gone, so.
And you can leave us memes. We like memes.
And you can leave
Yes,
memes.
memes.
All right. So, as it is right now, though, seeing how I have public order -1. All right. So the infrastructure tab gives you things like Tinkermaster, recruitment costs like that go down, and you get 210 income. You have Barley Field, growth plus 16%, and casualty replenishment 2%. And then you have the refactory. Now this one does resources. It gives me resources to trade, which I can then turn into money. And then but it also gives me public order +6. So I'm actually going to pick that for now. I will upgrade my city as well. And if you also notice over here, it does actually a lot more than just that. Income goes up, public order goes up by 2. Improved tower projectiles, so your towers will, when under siege and you're in the battle, will be better at killing the enemy. Growth plus 25%. Income from all buildings in the region, and I'll explain the region thing here in a little bit, will go up by 35%. Income from all buildings in all regions adjacent to the province will go up by 18%. And then it'll give me one of these locked construction slots, and then my garrison will get bigger. So the amount of troops I have if I don't have an army stationed at my at this camp. All right. Well, now that we have that done, if there's any questions, and I'll leave it there for about 35 seconds and, do a little dance while YouTube catches up. If you have any questions about what I've gone over, actually, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to hit the button because nothing else new will happen. But I can go over it as soon as it... and it's going to make me teach you technologies. I forgot about this. Okay. I was going to do that in a minute. But so technologies. You have the way of the clan and the way of the guilds. Way of the clan is going to give you melee, your what do they call it? Your troops. This is your troop tree. And the way of the guilds, this is your infrastructure tree. So, income from settlement buildings plus 3%. Public order plus 1%. It'll take 3 turns for each of these to complete. Gather the throngs. Recruitment of dwarf warrior minus 3%. Recruitment of miners minus 3%. Quarreler, this is what I will be doing. Recruitment of quarrelers and thunderer units are reduced by 3%. I'm actually going to go that route because it gives me ammunition, volley fire, masterwork crossbows. So this whole little tree, this little edge of this tree is going to give me the ability to make my archers better. So I'm going to pick that and then click. And now it's an actual hourglass. I'm going to click the button. Misty, are you following everything okay?
Why aren't we missing 2 frenzies?
Neat. Is that your headset?
Yes,
What?
that is his headset that does that grinding noise every time he turns it off.
Alright, I keep having to turn it off because Ben's talking to other people.
Okay, sorry, I had to take a drink of water there. All right, so now if we look at our,
The High King.
you see, we have our great weapons, and we have our 2 more sets of dwarf warriors here. Now that should be more than sufficient to destroy this with ease. Our camp, if you look, it's still 1 more turn for this and 2 more turns for this. Oh, I know I didn't fight the army. I'm going to fight the army this time, JC. Misty, if you have any questions, just ask. I am more than happy to answer them.
Realms. Ready access.
All right. Oh, finally!
Hmm.
That's a different tooth. Yeah, you need a towel. All right, so I have a bit of a bloody mouth to deal with. Give me 1 second, folks.
7-year-old with a missing tooth.
It wasn't that tooth, though. It was a different one.
A different one.
The front one? The one that needs to come out?
Nope.
Go ahead and get the other one while you're at it.
I
Yoink
can't.
it.
Pliers.
Yoink.
I've been buying apples nonstop for this specific reason, and I got a different tooth. All
Caramel.
right.
Caramel apples. Candy apples.
I want a candy apple.
I don't want a
Yeah, you
candy apple.
don't.
They're gross.
We just
delicious.
got back from the gym. You don't want a candy apple.
All right. So. All right. So now we're fighting the army. First thing I do, because it's bar none, no matter what CA game you play with, eventually it'll come up where you'll fight a battle, or you go to fight a battle, you will not click this button right here that says quick save, and it'll crash. It'll crash
Every
while you're
time.
in there, or it'll crash after you've won the battle on your way back to the map. It's just a CA thing. It happens. Those of us who play these games just deal with it. We getting used to the fact that you click quick save.
It's like eating a pizza while it's still hot. We just suffer through the pain.
I don't know what you're talking about on that one.
What?
All right.
You
Now,
what?
What's your natural response if you touch something hot? You pull your
Yum.
hand away, right?
No.
Something too hot, like a burner on the stovetop.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you did, your first instinct would be to pull your hand away, right? But when you eat hot pizza, you just suffer through the pain.
all right.
Sacrifice mouth scan.
Power
All
through.
right. So this button here, the little what is that thing called? I always forget the name of it. Something compass rose. This will give you an idea of what you have ahead of you for deployment. So this is a nice little thing to look at. So if you click on a settlement and you don't realize it's walled or something like that, or if you are being attacked, same thing goes. If you want to find out if your city is walled, because it'll drag you to a random city somewhere in all the places you've taken over, it'll allow you to know what you have to look forward to for deployment, or if you even want to fight the battle. Basically, if they have a huge army and you don't have any way really to defend yourself, you can just kind of call it quits and let them have it. That's up to you.
We give up
Yeah.
Well,
So
right.
here,
and
it
surrender.
kind of shows you, it kind of over-exaggerates. Like, this looks like it's a giant crater hole that nobody can walk into. This little spot right here. That is not the case. It is slightly lower than the hill over here. There isn't a whole lot of gradients difference in most of the maps. There's a little bit here, but it's not to the degree that it kind of shows you here.
There's very little high ground.
Yeah. There are a
Obi-Wan
few
Kenobi is
places that have it,
confused.
but you want to try to keep the high ground. So now that you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be fighting, I'm going to be on this side, they're on this side. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know.
I almost
Thank you, JC.
blew my nose off.
Alright, so I'm probably going to jump for this area over here, but we'll get into the battle. We're going to fight this one, even though this little bar here says I should, the balance of power bar says I should squash them quite easily. And I will. But we're going to show this for the purposes of playing the game.
I have that post-workout just...
Alright. So, now if you remember those giant craterous holes you saw, that's this. Like, it's not nearly to the level that it... No, I'm not going to auto-resolve today, JC. Alright, so we're going to kind of show you the tactic if you were facing an army of a significant size. So, alright, you have your hero. He's going to want to be up here. Alright, now I have my hammerers and my great weapons. I'm going to group them together because they kind of do a similar function. I always group the things that have a similar function together. And then we have our miners. They're going to go off into the woods. They're a little bit faster than everybody else, in hopes that I can flank these guys. Does it happen? Not really, because the AI does in fact have a, like, it pretends like it can't see it, but it knows it's there, and it's irritating.
Dwarves under investigation for throwing miners down dark hole.
Yeah. Alright, your crossbowmen will be in the back, and in the very back will be your grudge throwers. Alright. So first thing I'm going to do... Alright, so I'm going to take this specific unit, and I'm going to... I'm going to take these guys, and I'm going to spread them out. Make a nice long line. I'm going to take one set of the heavy weapons, and I'm going to spread them out this way. And I'll explain to you in a second why I'm doing that. So, often the AI, now not this particular one because they don't have any, will have their cavalry try to come around the sides to get to your artillery, which is a smart thing for it to do. And this is a neat little way to subvert that. And so what I've made kind of a box so they can't get to me. Now, that was my goal. Alright. Now we will click the Start Battle button. Now.
If only it was that easy in real life.
Yeah.
Now we click the Start Battle button.
Alright. Now I can... As you can see, my grudge throwers are just going to fire automatically because they're within the range and I have left them on fire at will. Now, I can
William, get down.
Put them on guard mode so they won't move, and I'm going to do that the same thing with my quarrelers. That way, when you click on a specific target and that target turns and runs, I don't have my guys won't start following them. That's the goal of that. And I will now select a specific target. If they have any archers, with right click, you click on the unit and then you right click.
Could you imagine an auto-resolve button in real life?
Well, that would be definitely different.
we've counted up the forces, and our side's larger, so we're going to execute half your soldiers, and we win.
For minor disagreements, that would be really handy.
A little prompt pops up.
Like
Now that the now they're going to lose stamina running up that hill. Now, my guys are taking fire from their archers. So I am then going to take my archers and make them focus on their archers. So that stops happening. My catapults are already fairly well taking care of these guys in the back. And now their hero is charging in. What I want to do, because he's gonna slam into my dudes, but I'm gonna take my guy, and I'm gonna do the same thing to him after he's already lost his momentum. Now he's got two things to deal with instead of me just dealing with one. Now you see they even tried to flank still. I'm gonna take those there. Ooh, they're a little bit sneakier than I thought. So I'm going to reposition my other troops on the side over here to stop them from, because they were trying to still flank me. Nope, they're just, all right. So now be aware that if you try to just click on this unit, no, you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity. So they charged into the hammers. And they did not engage my other set of troops. So now I have the distinct opportunity to flank them. And flanking gives you a bonus to damage. And you have to be careful, because if you just click on that unit, they will go through another unit to try to get there. And that'll catch them in combat. And I'm going to use these guys to sandwich their general.
For the ancestors.
Oh, see what I mean? They were hidden, but they decided to go find them anyway. And you could tell they were hidden. There's little icons on here, and it showed me, and I didn't say it out loud, and I should have, but I do apologize for that they were in fact hidden. Now I'm going to use these guys to slam into the back of them. Now, you will see real quick that I stop using those miners fairly quickly, because they are terrible. Now, their general is running. He's all bloodied and beaten. And they have given me the victory. Now, if you have a unit that you're selected but didn't realize it, like let's say this unit, but I didn't, and I go to drag them over here, but I'm like, oh wait, that's the wrong unit. You can then left click to undo that.
Attack the Orcs!
And even though I have won the battle, I'm going to go out of my way to kill their general. It does two things. It gives me a bunch of bonus experience for my troops. And it lessens their ability to have a veteran war boss, in this case. Ooh, look at all the buddies. That's a lot of dead orcs.
Important kids.
Now, if you see me moving like this, that's C and V while in battle. And this is Q and E. I know it seems like I don't know, trivial thing, but it is really quite helpful to know. And sometimes you don't think about looking at all the keys or know that you can do all those things. Because I didn't for a while when I first started playing the game. Alright, but that's about it. The battle took roughly 7 minutes. And he's still flinging rocks. All right.
Again, very realistic.
What? Flinging rocks?
7 minutes of total battle.
True. JC, you says your game says legendary. I'm not sure if you're referring to maybe a bundle. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. So it might be a bundle that came with your game, and you have all the DLC. Like you saw, I didn't at the beginning. I didn't have all of the different factions. There's a lot. All right, so now that I've finished the battle, I still have another choice to make. And as you can see, Thulgrim here, he leveled up during that. Now I can release the captives, gaining 378 gold. Casualty replenishments is -2%, and leadership is -2%. Or I can execute the captives and have a kind of opposite reaction. And yeah, I'm going to do that.
March.
All right. Grudge resolved. Now, if you remember, now this one has been struck through. That means my grudge has been resolved. I gained 1,000 gold and 15 oath gold. Oh. Good luck with the legendary on the difficulty. I'm not playing it on a very hard difficulty here. Legendary, from when I've played, it reduces your monetary income. It just makes the game all around harder to play. It doesn't give the AI like any more brains, but it will give the AI basically unlimited money, so you can have them reduced down to one city, yet they're still churning out army after army after army, because that's that's the only way they could make it harder. But if you are really good at these games, by all means, play it on legendary. I've played it on the hardest modes. I've never beaten it on the hardest modes. The money always gets me. But I'm by no means an expert at these games. But if you are a person looking for the basics, I can teach you that. Yeah, so there's that. But as you can see, the grudge is here. There's a new one now. Pillars of those words that I can't read. Capture and occupy the following settlement, and that's the settlement that he's at. Again, 1,000 gold, 15 oath gold. And I should be able to do that in the same turn.
Retake the realms.
So now this is basically the army retreated into this place, and I'm just going to take it.
Attack.
How old?
We mark another grudge.
Now, as you can see, he's still got 2 or 3 sets of troops, and it's actually not the same person because I killed the other one. But there's 3 sets of troops that are damaged. Actually, there's a couple more up here too. I don't know why they're damaged. But this is the garrison up here. And we're not gonna sit through another one of me, slaughtering them. I will show you the auto resolve function in this particular case. You can do the encircle function, and I'll show you what that does. So that starts a little. So it'll now tell me. Whoop, click on it.
Come back there. There's a hole. It's at the surface.
Destroy them.
Right button.
Wrong button.
Tag them.
There it goes. It'll tell you 3 days and 3 days for them to start taking attrition. 8 days for them just to completely lose it. That's 8 days for them to get reinforcements. Now, if you're playing on Legendary, JC, if it's your first time, I would not recommend picking the Legendary function. Definitely pick a easier mode. If you want a little more difficulty because you're used to playing strategy games, stick with normal. Once you go into the hard and things like that, you're going to start finding that CA gives a massive bump in this particular in the Total War Warhammer to their to the AI. It gives it a massive bump in the money range that you will see rather quickly. Now, if you're referring to the class you're the specific faction you're picking, you may want to start, if you've never played a Total War game before, to start on an easier faction. If you've played Total War before, continue to on that route with the normal, though. Like I said, the Ents, they're very, very hard. Because for the simple fact of the little sap you have to have. It's terrible. Rebecca's watched me play that before and lose before.
Yeah, the amber stuff was just such a pain in the butt. It just looked frustrating for you.
Did you bring back the dinosaurs with it, though?
That was not an option. I would have loved to have made velociraptors and had a whole thing, like a whole squad of
They're
velociraptors.
evolving. They're getting
Would've been
smarter.
great. Life finds a way, man. Life finds a way.
Your mages were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think of whether or not they should.
You're both terrible people.
Yes, we are.
That we are.
Good job, buddy.
Very interesting noises.
Oh, sorry, that was my beard. I
Sound
had
like you were eating chips.
No, that was my beard rubbing on the microphone. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it was down that low. All right, so we have resolved that we lost 126 and 874 for them. We annihilated them.
Jeez, it's very stark difference there.
Yeah. Now that I've captured a settlement, I have 4 options. I can raise it and gain 180 gold. However, it removes that building from the map. This is an option you want to use if it is if the little circle right here, if it's red around the icon. Yes, the Skaven are extremely hard. You want to focus on food, JC. Food. That'll get you every time. Food can either make you overpowered, or it can make it an utter mess for you. I love the Skaven myself.
Test failed successfully.
I really do. They are one of my favorite factions. But yeah, so you want to focus on food with the Skaven to the nth degree. Anytime you can get food, get it. Create underhives. That's going to get you the most food. So create your main cities around you, but you're going to get a ritual, which I will show you how to do as soon as I get mine up. There's rituals that you can do that will allow you to send a little dude out to create an underhive or blow up all the fortifications. He has 2 options. But you're not hungry? Yeah, the Skaven will be, though. They will go through it really quick, I promise you, bud. It's not you want to try to get ahead of it and instead of letting it get ahead of you. Because it is a extremely broken mechanic that if you have a lot of extra food, you can start cities out at level 3 and then great big the big cities, you can start them out at level 5, which gives you a massive advantage in time. It lets you go a lot faster. So if you focus on the food, you'll get there. You have sack, which is I don't take over the city, but I
But, over here.
rip I take away their gold. I have loot and occupy, which gives me a smaller amount of gold than the sack, but it gives me -20 to conquest and -20 to province. That's the area around. There's 3 in this particular one. There's 3 places to the province. It gives you that in minus in your remember how I had -2 before? Now I'm gonna have for one turn. I'm gonna have -30.
Oh yeah, you're.
And then for the following next couple turns, it'll be a little bit, 142 food. That's pretty good for right now, bud. I'd just keep it up.
Get another gas that didn't kill him.
They require mini border.
Because you're going to want to spend food when you take over places.
It's like feeding teenagers.
Exactly.
It's like
But I'm going to
feeding
click
meat.
loot and occupy. I usually do. The only time I don't is if I'm taking back my own city that was just recently taken over. Then I'll just click occupy because they're already pissed off. But for this, I'm doing loot and occupy. And that is now, and I've resolved the grudge. And I now have +15 to my oath gold. Alright, so now this is a mainline quest. Where did it pop up at? Oh, over here. This lovely glowing thing over here is a mainline quest for the dwarves. Specifically for Thulgrim. The supplemental characters, one of them, not the guy with the gray beard, he has it. The other guy with the red beard does not. I can't remember their names, unfortunately.
Captain Redbeard.
Captain Redbeard. Yeah. But I will get as a reward hero recruitment of a runesmith and the dragon helm, which will give me +5 armor and all that fun stuff.
Your have been put to work fixing up the captured city, sire. Yet there are many grudges still to settle.
No problem, JC.
Hideous manlings and bloodthirsty vampires threaten your kind.
Yeah, I love the Skaven, man.
And your mountain will never be safe. While a single green
I highly
spear
recommend
draws
focusing
breath.
on
To war.
sending and send those dudes out far away from where you're at. Don't just send them like a town over where you're gonna take over in a little bit. Like if you started out at Skaven Blight, I don't know which faction you chose, but whichever, just send them like miles away, places you can't see. Just send them running, and then take over places there, and start building up an underhive over there, because that'll really help your food. I also recommend the radius mod to you more than I recommend it to anybody playing like the dwarves. The radius mod will really help you. I'm running it now, but they do really good work, and they help rebalance the game a little bit. Names: Graybeard, Redbeard, much easier. I agree.
Graybeard, Redbeard, Blackbeard.
Yep.
Rainbow beard.
All right. So I'm kind of
We
out
don't
of
judge.
moves. My troops are a little weathered. So we are going to... Oh, we're going to level up. Okay. So if you aren't playing with Radius mods, JC... Red Rats. I love that. Oh, Red Rats. So, yeah. So you are on the... You're on the new mainland. I would send them up by the Dark Elves to the top. All right. If you are playing without the radius mod right now after 2 levels, I will only have 2 skill points. However, there's a level cap of 20. Often you can hardly get through one whole set of skill tree with that. Like if you look at his skill tree, it is massive. And so your radius mod gets rid of the cap, and it gives you for the first 10 levels, you get 2 for each level up. And that really does help balance out the game. For him, he is going to be. Hold on. Always click route marcher. It gives you 10% movement. It is infinitely better than anything else. I then am going to give him full plate armor. And since we are going to be fighting orcs for quite a while, I don't plan on going. So the grudge against elves, they all add a bonus towards that specific faction. That's how Fulgrim works. I'm going to click grudge against the foul. That's the Skavens. Where's my greenskins? Oh, is it already selected? They changed this thing. Sorry about that. Alright, so I'm going to hit Scarred Veteran. And I chose those. So now Thulgrim is harder to kill. Him being on the battlefield is the most important thing. Him killing other things is good. However, him being on the battlefield is better. Because if he breaks, your army will break. That is something, especially you playing Skaven, really watch that. Because if you lose your generals, the rest of them will just run. And as fast as you can, get rid of Skaven slaves, because they just constantly run on you. And if they run and then smack into one of your reserve units, that reserve unit will have a morale loss. All right. Now that I took this over during the siege and the battle ensuing, I have broken things. So in this particular case, I'm going to repair both of these. The city itself's walls and the barley fields. Now, growth plus 16%. See now how it says 36 here instead of just 25 like the other building? That is from that particular function. And we will end turn. All right. So let's see how we haven't fully replenished. Since we haven't fully replenished, we're actually going to increase our army because our next goal is to kill Mount Squighorn. So since I've got to sit here anyway, I'm going to recruit more troops. That's just kind of how I do it. I'm going to do 2. Actually, yeah. And then another Great Axe. Only reason why I'm doing that is because if I had the option, I would do the Quarrelers, but I don't have them yet. So when I get the Quarrelers, I will start recruiting them. Now, that'll probably be next episode because this should finish out our episode once I click this button again, because there's not a lot to do. There's going to be quite a few times you just click the button because you just have to wait sometimes. Oh, you can also click, there's 2 different options here and you can fast forward it. And these little things will start going by faster. All right. So, let's okay, so now you see the miners are still a little behind, but in all honesty, I don't really care because they are a useless troop anyway. and I have all the intention of the world of slamming into them and watching them die, because they don't bother me. Like they are not a good troop. They have a upgraded unit that throws bombs that is neat, but the miners are not really great. They don't have enough hit points, and they're not armored. They are armor piercing, but if you're unarmored and you're hitting guys who are armored, even if you have armor piercing, you get squished pretty quick, because they often have it. They have, you know, swing effects and things like that. Monsters do. All right, I'm gonna run over here. I'm gonna smush them so I can get to the next part. All right. Again, kind of showed you how battle went. I will go into a more in-depth one next time with the battles. But we're going to auto-resolve. And loot and occupy. Okay. Province secured, and that's where I was trying to get us. So the province has been secured. So now I own this one, and this one. And if you notice down here, or well, if I click on the town, you'll see this little icon, which is commandments. Now, so you have Untainted, which goes towards your Chaos Taint, and Public Order +2. High King's Tribute, so taxes go up without a penalty, and research rates go up. Growth +15%, and when you trade with things faction-wide, it goes up 4%. And then Masters of Steel and Stone. Construction costs for buildings goes down, and recruitment costs goes down. So depending on what you're doing in that particular province, so this province, I don't need money yet, but I am going to be recruiting a lot of dudes. So this adds 1 to my recruitment. Remember how it's 3? I apologize, JC. I would. If you give me a specific question, bud, I can focus and I can tell you about that. Just let me know, bud, and I'll see if I can help. But yeah, you have Masters of Steel and Stone. And that's what I'm going to go with, because I'm going to be building armies. And that's how that particular mechanic works. And again, I have to repair. Now, I already have this building in my main camp, but I don't want it there anyway. So I'm actually going to repair this. And obviously I'll repair that. Now, why do I not want that building over at my main camp? Is because it's a 3-tier building. I can level up the small towns to tier 3. Okay, so by going to tier 3 on these, any building that is a tier 3 building, I can max it out and I can get all the benefits from that building, no matter where they are in the province. Now this is a 5-tier building. Now what that means is like this. So if you see here, this has to go up to 5 to get fully maxed out, for me to get the most out of the building. Now, if I build a tier 3 here, it kind of feels like I'm wasting it. I'm wasting the slot, because I would much rather have something that gets me gyrocopter brimstone gun than, you know, Longbeards, which I can recruit at a different place. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the province. And this is across the board for any of the factions. This works regardless. So little neat little tricks like that, where you don't want your tier 1 or your low tier buildings in your main camp, because it does not benefit you as much as, say, something that can be upgraded higher. I hope that makes sense. Like, these don't, like, all of these are all things I need to recruit certain things. Like if I want the dwarf scouts, or if I want more runesmiths, or the Slayers. I have to get it to tier 3 to even start that building. And there are other people who require, because this is the armory, I believe. So if you remember earlier, it said required the armory. This requires a mustering hall. Which is not in the set. But yeah, so they're going to require other buildings to help you on your way. So in all of this, you wanna get the stuff that's higher tier. Now, if you're trying to build to it, sorry. When you're trying to build up to that stuff, still keep your growth buildings and things like that. Those will really help you. And if you're constantly under attack, make sure to keep your public order buildings. Don't just demolish them and just go for the high tier stuff until you are set in that area. But yeah, so for this, I'm going to. That's a lot of income. Sorry, the dwarf in me wants the greedy bit, but I'm actually going. This gives me grudge throwers, and that's something I would like to get a hold of because artillery is way overpowered. And this is the. Where was the mustering station? That's weird. So I am going to take the greedy bit. All right. And but I am not going, even though I want to, I'm not going to actually upgrade that there. My population growth surplus is in 1 turn, so it's much more beneficial for me to upgrade this building here. So in 1 turn, I can upgrade this again. It takes 3 turns. So patience is key. So sometimes thinking, to take it as chess. Thinking ahead of in the game versus taking what you can get right this second. If that makes sense. But
always pull the long con.
Yep. Exactly. But I will leave it up to chat now. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to be on here for about 15 more minutes. I really hope I can answer any of your questions. So if you keep sacking the same place... Okay, so by sacking the same place for 30 times, what you have done there, that is a neat little way to level up your heroes. It's not a cheat per se, but it's a way to kind of abuse the mechanics of the game. So they're going to refill, cheating. Huh?
It's just creative playing.
It's creative playing, sure, but yes, yeah. So by sacking the same place and not taking it over, you just keep creating they'll refill halfway, and then the next turn you do the same thing. You just keep doing that. You won't get gold every time. That's actually a really cool way to do that. To level up your heroes. So yeah, if you want to keep doing that, that's fine. Like I said, it's really cool to make it a way overpowered hero. It also works for any of the like your runesmiths, things like that. Plague priest in the case of Skaven. It lets your magic users max out, all that kind of fun stuff. That's a really I'm sure either you got that tip from somewhere else, or I'm honestly 100% amazed that somebody figured that out. If it's one of their first times playing the game, that's really cool. Chat, if there's anything else. Misty, if you've got any questions. Nate, Rebecca, you guys have any forward-thinking questions that they might have?
Not at the moment. It's a really complicated game, and I think the best way you can do is watch somebody play it and then get into it and try it on easy and just get used to the game mechanics yourself.
That is one way to go about it. The only thing I would say is if you're going to play it on easy like that, make sure you pick the faction that you want to play through on a harder mode. Because if you pick easy if you play it on the easy mode right off the bat, but you want to, say you pick, oh, well, I'm just going to play with this a little bit to learn. The mechanics between each faction are staggeringly different. Like, surprisingly so. Like, you don't play...
Like ints.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're playing Skaven, but you really, on easy mode, but you're just messing around learning the mechanics. Like that'll help you learn like the battle mechanics, things like that. That's a neat thing to do. But when it comes to playing like the Ents and things of that nature, your building, your infrastructure mechanics are entirely different. You're going to have to kind of go to each one, but pick it an easy mode, learn it, either go through it a little bit and then play it on a harder mode so you get all that.
And different play styles are going to do well
absolutely the one
with different
you picked today,
factions.
Misty. The dwarves are one of the easier factions. They have a really high armor rate, like armor to, and they don't break very easy. They're very hardy troops. They don't like to, what's the word? They don't retreat very easily. They're usually high armor, so it kind of takes some of the archer play on their side out of it. Yes, I love the Skaven, bud. I really do. They are a lot of fun. I love the Doom rockets and things like that. It's a blast. The Doom rocket is really awesome because it can get you out of a losing battle. It can flip the tide if you do it at the right time. One thing to remember about most of the Skaven firearms, other than the slingers, they have to be in front of your troops. Like if you have friendlies in front of them, they won't fire. So it's not like the archer setups. You have to have them forward most, which can be hard. So when they're incoming, you keep them up front, and then you have to push your melee troops through them before their melee get to your guys, or they'll get squished pretty quick. So be aware of that interaction. It is really cool that most of the Skaven weapons, there are a lot of dwarf weapons too, have a longer range than, say, the archers and things like that. Save a lot of the high elves. But yeah, I definitely recommend for your first pick, dwarves. If you Another easier faction would probably be I want to say lizardmen. The lizardmen and the dwarves are probably the easiest two factions. Lizardmen have a similar function where the Sauros warrior, they don't retreat at all. They go enraged. It's an annoying trait, but it's not one that'll leave you high and dry. Like the Skaven they like to run away. Ooh. Storm Vermin, Warlock. Wow. And catapults. Yeah.
We lose audio?
Am I not talking?
No, I can hear you.
Oh.
Did you unplug your headset, Mother?
No. Yeah, I like that setup. One thing to know that Am I not on the stream?
Hang on.
Hello? Yeah, my audio's still playing.
I don't know what she meant.
I don't know either. Yes, it is an awesome game. JC. Here, Rebecca, are you sure it's not just your end for the audio? Let me know, guys, if you. Well, I guess you wouldn't know I said this. If you hear me in the chat, let me know.
Like, raise your hand if you're not here.
Yeah, exactly. But I say that, Nate, since if they still have you, make sure you say something too about if they can't hear me.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what to say then. Pickles. That is all.
Okay, say pickles. No, but they can't hear what I'm saying if they can't hear me, bud.
I know. If you can't hear him in the stream, tell us in the chat or on Discord. Seriously, join the Discord. This way you can tell us in real time.
Yeah, and I do. I usually stream any of these if we're doing group talk, but only me playing. I do actually stream it in our Discord at real time. However, audio is good. Okay, thank you, Misty. But yeah. So, and unless anybody else has any questions, those are my recommendations. This was beginner, day one kind of stuff. JC, I'm glad you're having a blast with the game. I would love to see you again. If you want to, jump on the Discord, and we can talk more specifically about Skavens. But if anybody, I will be back on here. I will probably do one of these again. Let me look at my schedule. I will post it far out as far as a predetermined schedule. It'll show as on our YouTube channel as coming up. I don't know exactly what day I want to do it. It'll probably be Wednesday or probably Wednesday. I'll probably do it the day after tomorrow, and let's skip to advanced. We'll get there, JC. I promise. But if you come to the Discord, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. But I set this up for so I could get all the beginners out there, because it can be an overwhelming experience jumping into the Total War franchises in general. If you've never played the game before, it can be a little overwhelming. Now, I've been playing versions of Total War since I was 16. That was many years ago, like 20. So, thank you guys all so very much. If everyone in the Discord would like to say goodbye, let me know. And remember to like, share, subscribe. Oh, nice. The purple weapons, those are awesome, JC. You'll enjoy those. Make sure to hold on to them and get them leveled up as fast as possible. They'll get even better. It gets really good. You can also there's a secondary tab that lets you get a few of them at a time as well. It's not the orange ones, but the purple ones. Those are key to winning later on in the game.
And they're grape flavored.
But thank everyone so much. JC, Misty, thank you guys so much for the interaction in the chat. And I would love to see you all again on Wednesday. I will set up the exact time. It'll be on our YouTube channel, so make sure you like, share, subscribe. And on that one particular, you can set up the little bell to tell you exactly when I jump on. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.